Well, I'm running the power line for the wind charger, and I thought I'd explain how this is going to work. I uh, I cut these popple poles over a year ago just for this plan, and now I'm putting the cross pieces on, but I've got to fit every one. You know what I did is I just roughed it out with the chainsaw, a square, and the same here, you know, to fit. But now I got to do the actual fitting. I want to get them so they sit down about that far. I don't want, because once they're in here, you're in a pretty snug fit, and then I'm going to drill it and drive a pin in. Now this method is exactly what I used on my clothesline. That was a kind of a test of this theory, how well this would hold up, and that's held up good. So that's what I'm doing here. Now, to run the wires, you know, I actually don't know how long these are, but they're long enough, is what I figure, because where it's running, there's nothing going to be going under it. Even the backhoe isn't high enough to hit the wire. But I've got a bunch of these from some old, when they tore down a line one time, there was a bunch of the crossbars that had these metal brackets on them. So I've got these drilled, and then these go through, and then these old style insulators, which I have a whole bucket full of, just screw on there. And then I've got a bunch of the heavy copper wire that they used to use around yards, you know, that real heavy gauge stuff. I've been hoarding that up over the years. All this stuff I've been, you know, hoarding it up over the years because I knew I was going to be needing it. And I'm going to be running it right just on that side of that pine tree. It'll come to right back of the camera. But where it'll run will be right along the garden, right along the fence. Now, my idea, well, it'll be out of the way there, you know, because a power line is a nuisance for mowing and pushing snow, that sort of thing. So this should work fine. Being in that location, it shouldn't interfere with anything. And I've got two of these smaller poles that'll go in the middle and a bigger one for each end. Because the end one, the one by the tower, I have one of the ground braces that I actually found that I was digging in a culvert one time. You know, a big iron piece that goes buried in the ground and then goes up to anchor the pole. I've got that for that end, and then on this end I've got a big pole because it'll terminate here, and then there'll be a pair of wires run over to the shed there where I'll put the batteries. So it's working. I've got pine tar on the bottom. I've been soaking them for like 2 months. I've been every once in a while putting another coat on. Because this is popple and it isn't the strongest wood in the world, but it's fairly light. For the cross pieces, I debated about that and I decided to use elm. I had a chunk of good elm. Now, elm is a stringy, gnarly wood. I wanted something that wasn't going to split on me, and elm doesn't split. And I've got that coated with pine tar and ends just to keep it from checking. But I've been working on this off and on. I won't finish this today either. I'm waiting for the FedEx man, and then I've got another project I got to go at. But I thought I had to move these, so I thought I'd get these started. But I'm hoping the FedEx man shows up. I noticed I haven't been going in and out of the driveway. You know, I don't go anywhere. I stay home all the time. I got enough work to keep me busy here. So my road is kind of getting overgrown. You know, I mowed it, but you can hardly see the wheel tracks. So I might have to take my little grader out there. I'm afraid the FedEx man might think, well, this isn't the road, you know. So it depends on if I got the old FedEx man or if it's a new one. And I got UPS coming too, so I got that problem. I'm waiting on parts for that, well, what somebody referred to as a widowmaker, that pulpwood saw. I got belts for it, but I'm waiting on new tires, and then I can get that baby running. You know, like I say, I don't use it for what it was intended for. I always use it just as a buzz saw for cutting up, you know, anything under about this size cuts easy on that. So I'll set that up, but I want to try it as the way it was intended to be used for cutting pulpwood. But to me, that just looks incredibly dangerous. But once I found out that it actually had a purpose, and there's a kind of a history with them, because my intention was to modify it, well, I figured I better not modify it. It's kind of a historic thing. I got it someplace in Minnesota, and you know, before the advent of chainsaws, you know, before they became common, they used to cut pulpwood with those. And there was quite a pulpwood industry until, it still is to this day in Minnesota. You get up in the middle of Minnesota, there's a big boggy area. And if you go through there, you know, it's like Indian reservation, a big part of it. But when you drive through there, you'll see pulpwood stacked all along the road where they've been in there hauling it out. In fact, that's where Belarus tractors got very popular for cutting pulpwood. Now people have got newer equipment, you know, but back then it was small scale operations, and that's where that saw came from, was in Minnesota. So I want to get that fired up. But my hope, like I say, this will run right along the garden. And there'll be a pole at each corner of the garden. My hope is now that I will find, like I did out where I cut that hay meadow, I noticed, you know, that's full of pocket gophers and whatnot. Well, I'm knocking them all down. I'm going to go out there with a tumble bug once I get that all cleared off and level it out as best I can to get rid of pocket gopher mounds, because they're really a nuisance. But I noticed after I cut that down, all day there'll be hawks sitting in the trees around there, watching that open spot, looking for any gopher that makes a run for it. And at night, big owls, you know, not your little owls, which I have quite a few of, some of them really big owls are sitting in the trees out there watching that open spot. Well, if I can get hawks and owls to sit around here and keep down the gophers and the rabbits, because I still got a plague of rabbits, though I have them fenced so they can't get in the garden. But they're all over the yard all the time. But hopefully they will thin out those rabbits too. Might be a problem because eventually I want to get chickens, but well, we'll deal with that when we get to it. I used to have chickens and I'd like to get chickens again. But I'm going to work on this until some truck pulls up. Well, if the mail comes, I got stuff coming too for other projects. I got endless, I'm busy all day, every day. I got endless amounts of work, which is why I haven't done a video for a while. But I do intend to, you know, I keep intending to do videos, but somehow it's easier just to do my stuff. But, you know, and the same with the comments. Like a lot of times, you know, people always, if they see I have the comments closed on a video, they think, well, this is a, you know, that, oh, I've been getting vicious comments. It isn't that. It's, I just don't want to bother with the comments. And sometimes things don't warrant commenting. You know, I'm just showing you what I'm doing. There's no need for a discussion about it. It isn't going to change my mind. You know, it's different if there's something there's a question on, but there's no question on this stuff. You know, I just do what I do. So I don't want to be bothered with dealing with comments when I'm busy. You know, if I'm not busy. Like this morning, this is kind of a break because it rained last night. Otherwise, I got mowing to do, and I should at least mow my driveway again, knock them weeds down, because I know when the mailman had to bring something in one day, he was a little nervous about it. Though the road is perfectly fine, it's just that there's places where there's weeds that high in the middle of the road. So I should mow them down. I didn't, when I hated, I didn't mow them down because I didn't want the weeds in the hay. Well, now that I got the hay off of there, I could mow the weeds down. It's just endless stuff. But I like being able to do my endless stuff. This is projects that I've been meaning to get at for years. It actually surprises me when I think that when I was working, how in the hell did I ever get stuff done? Stuff piled up, but I was still able to get quite a little done. My firewood cutting and haying and all that, but I don't know how I did it. I like this a lot better. Being able to work at my own speed. I'm not, well, it used to be I was always behind. I was constantly behind, like with my hay. I was always getting the hay done later than I should have. Well, this year I got really good hay. I got it done when I should have. So it's nice to be able to get that stuff. And firewood, I'm already got a bunch of firewood piled up, and it's nice to have that ahead. So this is a good year. But like I say, sometimes videos, they kind of go on the back burner. If it's something I think would be of interest, yeah, but otherwise, like people want me to do shooting videos, and I will do some, but, that's, if I'm working on a project with a gun, that's one thing, but just to go shoot, make a video, well, there's no point in that. There's nothing to be learned from it, and I guess I'm always looking if I can teach somebody something. But I better go check mail and see what came there. I know there's some parts came in the mail, but I got UPS and FedEx, and we'll see if they get in the yard. That's always a challenge. But then I got to put the postal digger on and dig these holes, put these in. But I got to fix the flat tire on the back hole, because I figured the back hole would be really handy for handling these posts, to drop them in the hole. But I got a flat tire on the back, or on the front. Good, at least it's on the front, but I got to fix that. So it's endless. I've been doing a lot of tire fixing, but it's kind of endless. But I am content.